Hey everyone, it's Mega Champ once again. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do we have a goodie lined up for you today? Do we ever? Do we ever? There are some other things I probably should say, but I'll probably save it for my end of the year list. It's not even that important or major because I made a YouTube post or YouTube community post or whatever you want to call that stuff about it. So, because there was basically no point in making a video, but it will be mentioned at some point when I go through the video games that I played for my end of the year personal game of the year award stuff. So there's really no reason to talk about that right now, but I probably should and I will. Just this is not the video to do that, and it won't even take very long, and it's not even. I've already pretty much explained the situation in said YouTube post or whatever you want to call that. So, yeah, um, I finally played and completed to my liking Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, that one. You know, that one, this this thing right here that also got a lot of criticism. Is that even the right word? Because a lot of it seemed like a bunch of whining and complaining. Seems familiar, but let's not go on talk about that. um from a lot more people than you may think, a lot more people than you may think, deservedly so in some aspects, which we will talk about. Trust me, we will talk about them, and not so much in other aspects. Everyone is going to feel the way they are going to feel at the end of the day, as am I. That's why this is my full thoughts video, and just the way that I feel, my experiences, my opinions, and my thoughts on this game. You can have your opinion, everyone can have their opinion, so I can have my opinion. Great transition. Great transition. There are definitely a lot of things to talk about here. One of which, yes, is once again, and after this, it is dead and buried as far as I'm concerned. My bold prediction from a couple of years ago about this game, which is still right. It is still right. And nobody's going to tell me differently, but we'll talk about that here in a bit. But until then, this is Sonic Frontiers. And the way that I personally felt about this game and my full thoughts on said game. As usual, as normal, as per usual, I will go over to the best of my ability with as few spoilers as possible the story of the game, the characters of the game, the world or setting of the game where the game takes place, the graphics, and the gameplay. I am no expert in any way whatsoever, but since everyone wants to act like they're an expert now when they're not, but I'm just letting you know up front, I'm not an expert on anything. It's just how I personally feel and what I personally felt and experienced through playing this game. So basically, at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. I'm not a game developer. I'm not a graphic expert. I'm not a gameplay expert. I'm not an expert, period. I've just played video games for most of my life. And I'm just going to tell you the brutally honest truth, whether you like it or not. So, if you don't like hearing the brutally honest truth, that's not really on me. I'm sorry. So, there you go. There you go. There's your warning. So yeah, since I always seem to ramble and be very long winded, we're going to get started as soon as we possibly can. And we're going to do so with the story of the game. Yes, the oh so wonderful yeah, story of the game. Yeah, absolutely. So, the story of the game. You do remember, you do realize that's the Sonic franchise, the game franchise. Yes, there's a fast food company by the same name. um, the Sonic game franchise is really no different than any other platforming game franchise, right? It just happens to be one of the bigger ones, alongside Mario. But guess what? Guess what? The story of this game, just like literally any other platformer mostly, there are exceptions, and I've constantly stated way too many times what those exceptions are. Klonoa. I'm doing great already. Klonoa. Is that mostly they don't really have that great of a story. Platformers are mostly about one thing and one thing only: gameplay. So, once again, the story of this particular Sonic game is yet again another simplistic, not overly complicated story for a platforming franchise. What a shock! What a shock. So, as little spoilers as possible, Sonic, Tails, and Amy, and later Knuckles, apparently get pulled, quote unquote, to a group of islands by the Chaos Emeralds. Tails' airplane gets shot down, and the Chaos Emeralds have lost, because of course they are. So Sonic must track down the Chaos Emeralds and his friends on this group of 4, technically 5, islands. And it is later learned that everyone but Sonic, in other words, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, are stuck in a digital-like state, but no Digimon partner. They don't deserve one. What? I'm kidding. Relax. Is stuck in a digital-like state called cyberspace, and Sonic must figure out how to free them and get all of the Chaos Emeralds again. And he takes advice. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you'll find out. From a mysterious voice, quote unquote. And as he does so, and goes through cyberspace in order to free his friends. And I'm sure the voice totally isn't evil. And that's totally not a hint. Absolutely not. So yeah, that's basically the story. Did you enjoy it? Without saying more due to spoilers, of course. You regather all of the Chaos Emeralds on each island except for one. And it's rinse and repeat pretty much afterwards with each island. That's the story. That's the story. Yeah. The platformers are never big on the story. Yes, they are there. Yes, they exist. But it's never anything mind-blowing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay? I'm not saying the story is bad. I'm just saying mostly when it comes to platformers, the story's there, but it's not the biggest thing. Now, what I will admit, of course, when it comes to this particular game and this particular story, although it's mostly the game, but technically the story as well, is that admittedly they do things with Sonic in this game that isn't normally done with him in other games. So basically, in other words, in other games, other than like unbelievably briefly in Sonic Forces, which barely lasts a couple of stages, as we all know by now. As we all know by now. He does actually struggle in this game a couple of times and throughout the entirety of the game. And he has this thing affecting him called cyber corruption, quote unquote, as he attempts to, and he has to continue to try to fight it off through each island in order to free his friends as he continues to go through the cyberspace levels and stages and gathers the Chaos Emeralds and frees his friends, even though they're still kind of stuck in the digital state that they're in, and so on and so forth, and, you know, all that fun stuff. Honestly, when it comes to this particular situation, it's probably the most Sonic has actually struggled, quote unquote, in a game in a very long time. Honestly, it is. Because as we all remember in Sonic Forces, 2 stages and Sonic was back. Literally. Great job there. Let's not talk about that. Because for the most part, let's be honest here, okay? Let's be brutally honest here. For the most part, he doesn't struggle at all in literally any of the other games. At all. At all. Tell me where he struggles. Other than like Adventure 1 and Adventure 2. Don't count those. Tell me where he struggles. He doesn't. So, props for that, I guess. Better than what they've done recently with him, anyway. It's just one tiny little problem. We all know what it is. You see it if you play the game for yourself. Problem is, it's still not really that much of a struggle. So I guess you have to ask yourself, or the question is, does it really matter? Does it? Does it? Well, your answer for that question, well, you have to answer it for yourself, basically. You answer that, your answer for that question for yourself, and everyone's answer is going to be different. So, doesn't matter. Answer that for yourself. Decide for yourself. Everyone's answer to that question will obviously be different. Since this is my full thoughts video, my answer is probably a little bit of yes and a little bit of no. So it's a little bit of both. Because it can be both, because that's an option. There's always options. Now, look, it is nice to see Sonic actually struggle for once through a game and overcome it, obviously. But mostly, for the most part, except around near the end of the game, and even that is quickly overcome, it's still not really that much of a struggle. It's not. It's really not. Be honest. It's not. So it does feel a bit pointless still. But if it makes you feel any better, that's just me. Just me, obviously. Just how I feel in this specific situation and circumstance. And like I said earlier, I hate sounding like a broken record. Seriously, I do. But this platforming franchise is still no different than literally any of the other ones. Literally any of the other ones. And yes, that also includes the Mario games. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Except I'm not, but platformers aren't about the story or what their story is. It never has, and let's be honest, it probably never will be. They have been and probably always will be about the gameplay. That's what platformers are mostly about, is the gameplay. Sure, the story of the game is and are there. It's there. But it's nothing unbelievably amazing or cinema or mind-blowing. Give me a break with that, by the way, but yeah. It's nothing amazing or mind-blowing. This game and its story is really no different. I'm sorry. Just being honest. Being brutally honest with you. It's good. I literally did not say it's bad, but it's not like the best story ever. Just how I feel, okay? Feel however you want. And this isn't like anything massively major, but I didn't know where else to put this or say this. But I have to, call it out because bullshit needs to be called out as bullshit and things need to be called out. But it's not like that massively major, but I'm honestly getting a little sick and tired of Sega doing this stupid teasing where they basically go, we're gonna finally do something with Tails and give him his own moment. Look forward to it. And then it never happens. It never happens. The booking, yes, I'm using wrestling terminology again. The booking with my boy, and he's my boy, he's my favorite. He's Tails, he's great. The booking with my boy is just sad and pathetic at this point. It really is. I am 36 years old, and I'm still waiting for them to give Tails his own amazing or quote-unquote badass moment that makes me pop. And by the way, that just means it makes me cheer or yell really loudly. That's what pop means. Just saying. Just saying. What's the point of teasing that if you're not going to do it? Because you clearly haven't and clearly aren't. Just pointing that out. Oh, and the DLC story is just kind of like an alternate version or multiverse version of the Last Island story. And idiotically and stupidly and unnecessarily harder, but we'll talk about that more later. Are we having fun yet? Characters of the game. Same old, same old. What do you expect? Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Eggman, along with a new character called Sage. Oh, here we go again. Okay. Let's be dumb and do this like this, because I don't know how to do anything differently, because I suck at this. There you go. There's Sage. Right there. Sage. Okay. We're done. Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So Sage is basically seemingly just kind of like another AI-like character created by Eggman. That's really not all that different than some of these other AI characters in other games and franchises and other franchises, where it begins to sort of gain its own feelings and emotions and does call Eggman father at points in the future. It's not that big of a spoiler. Seriously, it's not. And it gains its own sort of individual characteristics that makes it break free, so to speak, of its AI, I guess, sort of, if you want to call it that and use that terminology. Other than that, there's no character development, mostly. What? There's not. Seriously, there's not. There's no character development. Except for Sonic during his struggles, I guess, but I'm not even sure that's really character development. I wouldn't say that's character development. That's just having Sonic struggle for once. When it comes to Sage specifically, there is and also isn't character development with her. I mean, there is at times, but it's mostly through cutscenes, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just kind of split up and all over the place, and most of it happens at the end of the game. So the character development for her is fine, I guess. I mean, I will be honest with you, I was kind of half expecting her to rebel and break free of Eggman, which actually didn't happen, so that legitimately surprised me. Good job, I guess. But for me, personally at least, so again, just me, obviously, I don't really think there was enough there, so to speak, to call the character development for Sage good or consistent. But, again, just how I personally feel. That's just me, okay? It was too split up and all over the place. I don't think there was enough there. But just me, okay? Just me. There is a new race called the Ancients that look mysteriously like Chaos from Adventure 1. And I'm sure that's not intentional or anything. It's totally intentional, clearly. Which is how you're introduced to the bosses of the game and the true evil of the game. Not much else there for them either. Other than the bosses and the true evil and what it is. Also, just quick here. When could Amy use cards like she's Gambit from X-Men? First I've ever seen it. So I asked on Discord before I did this video, obviously. You don't have to answer it. Apparently it's from the comics and the manual for Sonic CD, which I never played. I mean, this is what I was told when I asked on some Discord servers I'm on, anyway. Here's the thing. You know where I'm going. I don't read comics. Are we sure this is a good idea? Are we? Are we sure? Just saying. I mean, you can't really do this kind of shit and expect everyone to know what it is without an explanation. Because not everyone has the time to read comics or even wants to read comics. I'm raising my hand. Just saying. Kind of similar to how the Digimon franchise seemed to think it's okay that comics, manga, and TCG are good enough, air quotes, to keep the franchise alive between anime and game releases. No. No, it's not. Not at all. Not the best comparison, probably the worst comparison. But I'm just saying you can't throw this shit and expect people to know what it is. Just saying. Just saying. I will admit that they did do better with the extra characters, Amy, Knuckles, and Tails in the DLC. Their themes when you play as them, Chef's Kiss, we'll talk about that later too. But that was also quickly ruined with other poor and idiotic choices that they made for said DLC. More on that later. I hope you're noticing a pattern here. Good God, man. Good God. World and story of the game. Where the game takes place, basically. 4 main islands. 5, technically, in total. The 4 main ones are Kronos, Eris, Chaos, and Oranos. May or may not be pronouncing correctly. All have different biomes and environments, mostly. Kronos is mostly grassland. Eris is mostly desert. Chaos is mostly volcanic. And Oranos is backed to grassland with some snow. The other island, Rhea, or Ray, Rhea, is mostly a story advancement island, so there's not much to say about it, and it was mostly grassland as well. It's an open world game, by the way, or open zone, as they called it before the game released, because Sonic games are about, zones. Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone. You get the point. Like areas, so it's an open world and or open zone like areas with enemies in the open world and zone. Different enemies with different islands, some more difficult than others. And there are guardian and or mini boss, quote unquote, like enemies in the open world zone as well. Again, some are more difficult than others, with some newer or tougher versions of the same enemy in later areas or islands. And you need to beat some of the mini bosses at least once, maybe more than once, depending on if a certain thing happens, to do the cyberspace stages, because beating them and sometimes beating other random enemies will get you kind of like a cog-like item that you need in order to unlock the cyberspace stages. Now, when it comes to the open world slash zone of the game, it was fine. Honestly, it was a lot more fun than I was honestly expecting it to be. It was. I'm just saying how I personally felt and feel about it and what I experienced. And not everyone is going to like this comparison, but it's the best I can come up with what I have personally played. This game's open world, quote unquote, is more like the open world, quote unquote, of Pokemon Legends Arceus than Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Both of those games I never played and never will. And everyone is doing this kind of thing, like it or not, right or wrong or not, open world like games, basically. And Sonic's first attempt at it, well, if you ask me, it wasn't as bad as the critical reviews want to make it out to be. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. It's really not. I mean, is it perfect? No, of course it's not perfect. You're never going to get perfection. Stop expecting perfection. But it's their first shot at it. Sega's first shot at it, and with the Sonic franchise. So you have to give them some slack and let some things slide. I'm sorry, you just do. You have to give them some slack and let some things slide for their first open world-ish, like, Sonic game. Okay, you do. You just do. They will learn and obviously do better next time. Hopefully, anyway. That's the hope. All you can really do is hope. Whether it will happen or not, who knows, but for me personally, anyway, it wasn't a bad first shot up at an open world like Sonic game. Just me. Just me. Okay? Just me. Just me. Graphics. Oh boy. Oh boy. Graphics. Yes. Not an expert on graphics or gameplay, so take everything else however you want. The graphics were fine. Not bad, all things considered. There's only one major problem, though. And we all know what it is. It's the pop-in. Yeah, it's bad. Really bad. Really, really bad. If you don't know what pop-in is or means, it's just when things or items in the environment in the game load, quote unquote, into the game and just pop, quote unquote, into existence. Like you walk a couple of steps away from it and the item or environment thing disappears, and then you walk a couple of steps closer to it and it pops back into existence. In other words, pop in. It's bad. Yeah, like I said, really bad. Really bad. Probably the worst I've seen in quite a while. The pop-in was bad for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Legends Arceus as well, but my god, man. My god. Now look, I shouldn't have to say this, but I will. And it goes without saying. But shocking concept here, shocking revelation here. I'm not a game developer. Clearly. But I'm not really sure how else they were supposed to do it. Really, I don't. So I'm just kind of pointing this out. It's not an excuse, obviously, for them. And I'm not defending them or the pop-in or what they did for the extremely bad pop-in. I'm just saying I don't know what else they were supposed to do or how else they were supposed to do it. You want to throw ideas at me for a better way for them to do it? Have at it. You're not a game developer either, unless you are. No game developer is going to listen to my videos. Let's be honest here. But unless you're a game developer, you can't really say, oh, this is what they would have done instead, should have done instead. That's just your opinion, but are you a game developer? If the answer is no, then you don't really know how else they could have done it. At the end of the day, all we can really do is try to give them some slack, because again, it's their first open world like Sonic game. And let them know how bad it was, and everyone did. And hope that they can find a way to fix it, or not make it as bad, quote unquote, next time. And trust me, there will be a next time. We all know it. Other than that, the graphics were fine. Okay? It's a bit better than other Sonic games, which isn't a surprise because it's on next generation hardware, PlayStation 5, so on and so forth, which is the version I played, the PlayStation 5 version. And that's really all you can ask for. It's really all you can ask for. I mean, graphics aren't really all that important for platformers either. But they also are for open world games to an extent. So you have to find a middle ground here. I don't know. The graphics just didn't really bother me or annoy me all that much. It's just me, though, at the end of the day. It's just me. It fit the style they were going for mostly. I think that's all that really matters and all that's important here. But again, it's just me. It is a little jarring, honestly, with some of the grass and some of the other textures and Sonic, but all they can really do is try better next time. Not saying it's the greatest, but it wasn't really all that bad. For me, at least, it wasn't, but I get it. Trust me, I do. I get it. You just gotta hope they do better next time. That's it. Here are where things matter the most for platformers. The gameplay. Gameplay was mostly fun. Even in the open world and zone areas. It was definitely true with the open world, in the sense that you could go wherever you wanted mostly, and do things in whatever order you wanted to do them in. For me, though, I have too much of an OCD-like nature, so I did the cyberspace levels and stages in order. 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and so on and so forth. But you can do 1-7 first if that's what you want to do. Cyberspace levels are basically the regular Sonic stages and levels. Fast-paced, speed-oriented platforming levels. some 3D, and yes, even some 2D. Mostly the cyberspace stages were references to other stages in other games, again, like usual, as usual, per normal. Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, City Escape, and other references that I didn't immediately recognize or get because there's too much Sonic stuff to remember. I'm sorry. Yeah, the cyberspace levels were extremely fun. No gripes or anything negative to say there. Loved them. Loved the shit out of them. The music in this game is goddamn amazing. It really is. I swear to God, it's one of the, if not the highest points of the game. This goddamn music. Seriously, go listen to the soundtrack. Seriously. And I can't play any segments, obviously, due to possible dumb and stupid DMCA issues. And the boss themes in this game are the best I've heard in years from this franchise. Same for the soundtrack. This might be the best Sonic game franchise soundtrack I've heard since maybe Adventure 2. Yeah, it's that good. It's that damn good. It really is. The music is so goddamn good in this game. It really is. It really is. Really. That's probably the highest point of this entire game is the soundtrack and the music and the boss themes. The cyberspace stages and the boss themes. So good. So good. Unfortunately. Fortunately, this is where my praise ends. Hope you enjoyed that positivity. I really do. Hope you enjoyed it. Because get ready for negativity for mostly the rest of the way. I'm sorry. Am I sorry, though? Am I sorry, though? Things need to be called out. I'm sorry. They just do. The camera is god-awful in this game. At least in the open world and zone area. It's god-awful. It might be just as bad as it was in Sonic 06. But let's not dredge that back up, shall we? There were literally times in the open world and zone where I literally couldn't see what I was doing. Or it would zoom in unnecessarily. And I couldn't see where I was or where I was going. And I would either fall off or get hit and lose rings, or just stupid dumb bullshit in general would happen to me, even during the boss fights. The most important parts of the game. Yeah, bad, terrible bullshit. Fix this shit if you're gonna do it again, which they clearly are. No excuse for this shit. It's like they didn't learn from Sonic 06. Yikes. Yikes. Massive yikes. Now we have to talk about the DLC. I have one legitimate question about the DLC. Whose bright idea was it for the ridiculous ass, unnecessary, asinine difficulty? Seriously, I want to know. And I don't care who it fucking was. Even if it was the Sega CEO themselves, who runs the entire goddamn corporation. They deserve to be punched right in the fucking face. I'm sorry. Right in the face. There's no excuse for this shit either. This is not Crash Bandicoot. It's fucking Sonic. This DLC ruined my experience. I'm serious, it did. You have no idea how close I was and became to just quitting and moving on to my next game. You really don't. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. Luckily, I tried decreasing the difficulty. I was playing on normal the entire time through the main game. Gee, why does this seem familiar? It's because it is. Of course, after I switched to easy, I was fine. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. And do not give me scan issue. I don't want to fucking hear that shit. Do not give me that shit. Don't do it. I will admit, though, things were incredibly unclear for the final boss of the DLC as well. So that didn't really help. I mean, I wasn't using a guide, and that's on me. But they made things incredibly unclear for the final boss. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Overall, unnecessary, ridiculous, no excuse, asinine difficulty for the DLC. And look, I'll always give a thumbs up and props for free DLC. Seriously, I will. But you know what? This felt like a beta test, half-assed rush job. That's just what it felt like. It did. And want to know what else? I'm going to take it even further. At that point, you know what I would have preferred instead? Paid DLC. Yeah, you heard me. You heard that right. Because at least then it wouldn't have been a half-assed rush job that felt like a beta test where they put effort into it and didn't make the difficulty extremely fucking dumb and experience ruining. And just no fun in general. Because they knew they would have had to make it worth the price. But because it was free, yay, free! This is great! Do this! And then you get this shit. No. 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 I don't care if it's free. There's no excuse for this bullshit, seriously. No excuse. I would have preferred for them to not do it at all if this is the bullshit I would get. Give me a break. Give me a break. So the DLC ruined my experience, in case that wasn't clear. But overall, it was a good game. It was. Shocking, I know. Don't have a heart attack that I'm saying this. But clearly it has problems, because every game does. You're not going to get perfection. Stop expecting perfection. But like I said, it is Sega's first attempt at an open world game, an open world-like Sonic game. So you do have to give them some slack and let some things slide. But some of this you just can't overlook. You can't. You seriously can't. Hopefully they learn and fix these things, because we all know they'll do something like this again. So the question is, was I wrong about this game? What exactly was I wrong about? Tell me what I was wrong about. I'm not the one who said, we want this game to have a good critical reviews. Who was that again? I'm blanking here. Who was it that said... Oh, yeah, it was Sega. So no, that doesn't make my bold prediction about this game a couple of years ago wrong. Because I'm not the one who said that. That was Sega. Give me a break. Overall, I'd probably give this game an Well, actually, before I say that, here you go. Here's your fucking reviews that you just love oh so much. Switch, Xbox, PS5, PS4, PC. I played it on PS5, so there you go. Proud of yourself, Sega, with that statement. Maybe keep your mouths shut next time. My personal score is an 8.3 out of 10. So a little higher than this. Not much higher, but a little. It would have been higher, but the DLC ruined my experience. I'm sorry. Maybe don't make the fucking difficulty ridiculous. Did you consider that? Give me a break. So there you go. Story of the game, characters of the game, walled and setting of the game, the graphics, and the gameplay. It's just how I feel. Just my experience, my opinion, and my thought on it. Play it for yourself. Decide for yourself. I would recommend this game, mostly so you can hear the goddamn amazing music. It has a lot of problems. But it's mostly a good game. And the critics are mostly wrong. You gotta give them some slack for their first attempt at an open world game. You do. But it has fucking problems and they need to be called out, and I did. And that ridiculous ass fucking difficulty in DLC is fucking bullshit. Give me a break. Give me a break. Did this game have an effect on my end of the year list? Stay tuned and find out. My next game is AI The Somnium Files. Finally getting around to it. By the creator of Zero Escape. I've heard it's good. Yeah, that's my next game. By the way, I did get the platinum in this game in Sonic Frontiers, my 22nd. I guess it was worth it in that sense. I will be attempting the platinum for AI Somnium Files as well. Apparently it's doable. We'll see. Hopefully. I'll do my best. No promises. But yeah. There you go. Oh God. I'm sure this will just go over so well. Don't fucking care. This is Mega Champ saying next time I'll be providing you with more unlimited guidance. November's quickly approaching, although you really don't have to worry about things until like December, but yeah. AI Somnium Files next. So I'll see you then. I don't think anything is going to happen before the Game Awards. This is the dead period. So, until next time, see ya. Music's great, but it has problems. Hopefully they'll do better next time. Whether they will or not, we'll see. We'll see. But the experience was ruined for me for their shit-ass difficulty decision in the DLC, so. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Bye.